Okay, but this is just to introduce you, and this will just be you looking at me and nodding so that we can say we've come and spoken to you. And I'll just be seen putting a question to you, and just give me another nod, would you? Understand? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You there?
Yes.
Flight, plane.
It's a good flight. Yeah. What's your reaction been to the news that the remains of your son have probably been found by the police?
Well, it came as a shock. I suppose I should have expected it, but I had not heard anything about the find, or which was publicized in the paper, so I had no idea. I suppose at the back of my mind I felt that they might be able to find something, and I thought that there's very little hope. I was just hoping that something might, he might still be alive.
How have you coped with the uncertainty of not knowing what's happened to your son?
That has been very bad. In fact, past few weeks I was getting pretty desperate, and I invited Sergeant Goldie the other day. He was pretty depressed, and I told him how important it was now that something should be found, some clue. But I mean, the police were obviously doing everything they could.
Had you been trying to prepare yourself for news like this?
I thought I was prepared, but in spite of everything, I suppose there is some glimmer of hope, or at least it's an irrational kind of hope, as long as you don't know. It was a bad shock, yes.
What were you hoping that had happened to him?
Somehow I knew what had happened, and I said it all along in the past. When he had gone missing, I've told my feelings that obviously somebody has taken him away, which seems to be the case anyway. The police are treating it that way.
How have you broken the news to your daughter?
Well, since the police were not sure that something, I mean, they were not 100% sure, I thought I'll wait till they were. So I sent her away to some friends. But then, obviously, the press and the media have taken it up. I told her over the telephone. I'll be seeing her this evening. She's coming back. She seems to have taken it all right, because I have prepared her for it over the period of time. I've tried to speak to her, make her understand that the inevitable is possible, very possible. Well, she seems to have accepted it, but then she's a child. It might take her longer for her to understand exactly what it is.
If these indeed are Vishal's remains, what will that mean to your life here?
I can't see how it's going to alter my outlook to my life here. I mean, after all, I live here. It's my home. I've lived here for years. But naturally, it takes time for memories to wear off. I've had him here for about 2.5 years. Both of them been living with me. suppose I'll just have to face that and let time take memory out.
Have you told your wife yet?
I did speak to her on the telephone, and she is coming tomorrow morning. I was told this.
When will you have this finally confirmed to you as to whether it is your son or not?
They said they'd probably let me know by this evening or tomorrow. They seem fairly certain. They've done some medical or whatever tests on the teeth. But obviously there are other tests they're doing. They're fairly certain, they say.
Thank you very much. Just like this. Okay. What were you thinking had happened to your son? How had you prepared yourself for this sort of news? Had you prepared yourself for this sort of news? Had you prepared yourself for this sort of news? Have you broken the news to your daughter? Have you told your daughter yet? What's the uncertainty about your son been like? What's the uncertainty been like? What's the uncertainty of not knowing about Vishal been like? What's the uncertainty about Vishal been like? That's it, thank you.